It starts with an accident, and in dozens of cases, it ends with a horrific death.
Our consumer team first told you about an investigation into 1993 and 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokees last year. But in many cases, Derek, the victims don't live to talk about it. But we found one survivor who wants to speak out about her life-altering experience on a Virginia interstate and her mission to get these vehicles off the road.
Their back end was right in the guardrail, and I saw it burning.
It is the first time Jenelle Embrey has returned to this section of I-81 near Winchester, Virginia. This accident, as chaotic as it was, didn't kill anybody immediately.
No, it was miraculous. Everybody was alive. We were all alive.
October 5th of last year, Jenelle and her dad took his new PT Cruiser out for an evening drive. Behind them, Heather Santer drove her son Zachary and a friend in her 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was Columbus Day weekend, and the boys were coming home from college for a break.
As soon as we got up to 81, we never even got up to speed. We saw the traffic jam immediately.
But apparently, the driver of a big rig did not. According to this police report, the driver took his eyes off the road. He plowed into the back of Heather's 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee, going 65 miles an hour. The Jeep then crashed into the 2002 PT Cruiser, carrying Jenelle and her dad.
I was kind of hyperventilating and just sobbing because I saw a small fire right at the back bumper of that Jeep.
Jenelle's dad sprung into action.
He's leaning in the vehicle and he's talking to them and he's telling them there's a fire and you have to get out. The mom, she must have known something was happening because she kind of looked at my dad and Zachary. She reached down and she undid his latch.
Her dad was able to save Zachary, but he wanted to do more.
As my dad kind of went around the front of the vehicle, there was like this gush of wind, only it was fire. And the fire just went from the back of the vehicle to the front. Zachary was standing there and, you know, of course he's screaming, "Mom, Mom." And she just burned to death right in front of us, as well as the kid in the back.
We talked to Clarence Ditlow, the executive director for the Center for Auto Safety, back in 2011.
The people that are lucky survive. I mean, but there's absolute tragedies. There's the gasoline.
The Center for Auto Safety believes the placement of the plastic gas tanks in these late-model Jeep Grand Cherokees can lead to fires and deaths. The gas tank is located behind the rear axle, literally in the crush zone of the vehicle. In 2009, the Center for Auto Safety used government data to make the case to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration that it should investigate fiery crashes that involved 1993 to 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokees. In 2005, Chrysler moved the gas tank in front of the rear axle. The company says it did that to provide more cargo space.
You'll have a huge ball of fire, and people can't get out of the vehicles before they burn.
You know, this was all like 60 seconds from impact.
The two people who died here in that devastating chain reaction crash could be added to a growing list of mothers, fathers, and children who died by fire in a late-model Jeep Grand Cherokee. Jenelle is afraid that more people may die before the government takes action.
I've had lots of nightmares and lots of terrible flashbacks, and I just feel like I need something to channel this anxiety into.
So Jenelle channeled that energy by starting an online petition.
If we get enough caring people to sign, I'm hoping we can do something about it.
It's posted on change.org. Jenelle wants NHTSA and Chrysler to recall these late-model Jeep Grand Cherokees. Already, more than 500 people have signed it, including one family member of Heather Santer.
It says, after having watched my husband, in-laws, and nephew mourn the loss of their sister, daughter, and mother due to a horrific accident, I sincerely hope there's an investigation and a recall to make everyone safe.
Jenelle says she hopes her efforts will not be in vain.
We were all equally alive, and we weren't in a Jeep, and they were, and I saw them burn to death.
After the accident, Jenelle reached out to the Center for Auto Safety and watched our year-long investigation into these safety issues online. That sparked her to start the petition, and she plans to hand-deliver it to NHTSA once she gets more signatures. Right now, it's set up so that each time a person signs it, NHTSA gets an email. The Center for Auto Safety has asked NHTSA to include this accident as part of their investigation into the 1993 to 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokees. In a statement, Chrysler tells us,
If we can move up a little bit, please. This tragedy was the result of a violent, high-energy crash caused by a distracted tractor-trailer driver who rammed into the back of the 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee at highway speed. Indeed, the 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee meets and exceeds all applicable federal safety highway standards, including the stringent requirements of the applicable FMVSS 301. That's the standard by which a vehicle's fuel system design is evaluated in the U.S. and has an excellent safety record over many registered vehicle years.
All right, Les, that's great. But when is NHTSA likely to make a decision about the safety of these vehicles that are still on the road?
So this has been going on since 2010, and auto experts have told us that it's pretty unusual for an investigation to take this long. Back in June, NHTSA expanded its investigation into these fiery crashes, and they now include the 1993 to 2001 Jeep Cherokee and the 2002 to 2007 Jeep Liberty vehicle. So to answer your question, Derek, we don't know how much longer this is going to take, and we don't know which way the agency is likely to rule, but we can tell you we put our entire 20-minute series on this issue on our website. It includes video of crash tests that we showed you a bit from, and more from a Chrysler whistleblower who says the company knew about these potential problems before the vehicles hit the market. Just go to WUSA9.com and you can see all of this under our consumer section.
You got to make a decision sooner or later.